All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Video is going to be fairly in the dark because it is nighttime right now. The time is 10:30 p.m. I'm actually driving. I'm driving home, so I will be on the highway, so it might be a bit noisy. Do forgive me, but I just want to drop this video. I did mention earlier on, I mean, one of the members on Discord mentioned to do a nice little 10-minute video. I was kind of busy at that time, so I am free now. I mean, obviously I'm driving, so I am kind of free. I will try and give you some information, right? Okay. So let's talk about the market, right? So we mentioned, if you look at the previous 2-3 videos, I've been going on about how the market could easily go to the 31k level. But then I'm expecting the market to kind of have a little bit of a dump during that time. And I think that dump has come in. How low is it going to go? I don't know. But so far, from looking at the market data, the current stochastic RSI, I can see a few things. So for example, if I look at this stochastic RSI right now, it is in the overbought territory. On the daily, that is, right? On the weekly, however, we are on a perfect zone, so it is giving us indications that on a higher time frame we will be looking to be a little bit bullish. Now, this data is not quite relevant yet because every time we have this data, we need another week to confirm this. And I mentioned this on the last video, or the video before this. I actually mentioned this. I said, guys, look at the weekly trend. We are looking okay, right? Nothing seems bad, but we want to see a confirmation so that we can move forward with that. So that's what I'm looking for right now, a confirmation. We're up to, we've touched the 30k. We went to $30,700 today, but that doesn't mean anything for us, right? Also, when I was looking at the on-chain data to see how many liquidations happened today, it was $230 million was liquidated across all exchanges, or majority of the exchanges that the particular platform I'm using tracks. However, there was one idiot on one exchange, and I think this was on BitMEX exchange. I can't remember if it's BitMEX or something like this, but on that exchange, one person lost $9.3 million in BTC, right? They had a trade for BTC there. That's how much they lost, 9.3. So I feel sorry for the person losing $9 million. That's a lot of money. But this is the game, right? If you're going to do leverage trading, you have to accept your losses. And unfortunately, your losses will be quite high, right? I mean, I can only imagine, right? Someone became very bullish and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to make a shit ton of money today, right? They probably jumped in a bit late, not understanding that the market's already moved. So again, a lot of people are not forward thinking. You've got to be forward thinking. If you want to open a trade, you do it when the market is having a bit of a FUD or at the lowest, right? This is very important. And again, a lot of people just don't understand this. So it's a sad thing, but that's the reality. You have to be in it to get it, not when the market's already left. So when the rocket ship decides to get up or fire up its engine and it's off the platform, don't jump on it, right? You're not going to go anywhere. That's what happens, right? So this person, whoever it was, literally I think decided to jump on the rocket after it already left the platform. You don't do that. You do it while it's being fueled, while it's getting ready. That's when you do it. If you look at my previous video, or the one before that, actually, I even mentioned this, or the one before that, I can't remember. I think it's the second or third, or maybe the fourth last one, I can't remember. But you'll probably know, if you watched the video to the end, you probably would have got the analysis at the end of the video. Sadly, a lot of people probably didn't watch it, so you didn't get the information. I mentioned this as well. I said, like, guys, look, this is not a financial advice. If you haven't already sold your houses to buy BTC, then yeah, I mean, that's what you should be doing, right? So again, this is one of those kind of things. It's a sad reality that when the market is slightly bearish, people don't understand that's the time to get in. You buy the discounts, right? And then you move on. So anyway, I feel sorry for that person. So I thought I'll give a few words here. I can't keep a moment in silence because it's a video, right? Anyway, so that's the thing with that person who lost money. But BTC, right? Let's go back to BTC on the weekly trends, right? So the weekly trends, what we need to do is make sure we close above. So on Sunday, we need to close above the $31,000 level, right? Because that's where we had our previous rejection. So we have to close above the $31,000 level, and then we're fine. That means we are bullish, right? That's my confirmation. We are bullish. However, if we did drop back down now, we should not drop anything below 25k, 25,500. That's going to be our next support range, right? So we cannot go below that because that's where we were previously. So we need to stay above that, whatever happens, in order to move sideways. Sideways movement is not a problem, right? So that's what we need to see. We don't want to focus on the daily stuff because daily we're going to have the overbought and oversold situations now. It's going to be very volatile. I'm not concerned about the daily. I think if you're going to be focusing too much on the daily, it should only be if you are trading, right? So if you open a trade and you want to close your trade, then you focus on the daily business. But other than that, I wouldn't be looking at any of that data. I want to look at the longer time horizon and the bigger trends, right? Now, talking about the bigger trend, we had one big trend move recently, which was the market dominance, right? So the market dominance went above 50, which is great. That clearly indicates that the money has flown into BTC. Also, you can actually see this on the total market cap. So when you go and see the total valuation, right, currently it's sitting at 1.13, and it's gone from 103 or 104 trillion dollars, right? So when you see that, we were below the 110, which we shouldn't be. So anything below 110 is bearish. So we're currently in the bullish territory. So that's all giving me a bullish indication that the market wants to move. And it's all to do with BTC, so understand where I'm coming from. You'll understand more as I explain, right? So BTC has to stay above, or at least keep the market above the $1.1 trillion level, which it's doing right now, so I'm okay with that. That's all bullish, right? If we don't fall below the 110, we're fine. So that's number one. Also, the other thing you have to notice is how much money went in. So we went from $104 trillion to 113. Right, that's a $900 million. Sorry, nine billion actually. $9 billion entered the market. Now, all of that money is not $9 billion just entered the market. That's not true. What's true is that the market valuation increased as soon as BTC got the momentum. So BTC could have had 100, 200, 300, maybe $400 million. So we're talking in the millions, right? But it pushed the market valuation by $9 billion. So that's what you got to understand. Because remember, when BTC is bullish, everything is carried up with it. In fact, whatever is valued in BTC or has a pair in BTC will also reflect the price increase. So that's what's happened here. So far so good. Market is looking very good. And of course, this brings back positive sentiment, right? So positive sentiment has a big thing to do. Now, all of this is coming in because of the current Fed meeting and whatnot, right? So the Fed hasn't really done anything recently. Some of the conversations they've had is slightly bearish, or in fact, if we talk in the Fed terms, then it's hawkish, right? That's what people like to call. So that's kind of a conversation they're having. But I think next month they have mentioned something. Let's see what happens. Next month could be bullish or bearish, but this is I don't know, if you look at the current market status and then if you look at the previous market scenarios, right, on a 4-yearly cycle, pretty much the same thing happens over and over again. So I'm seeing a pump. Great. Does that make any difference? Not quite, because we do have the global agenda, the bigger problems in the market, right? So I am looking at this. I want to know where the money's coming in from, because hundreds of millions of dollars have entered the market. BTC just starts pumping out the blue. Is it all on-chain buys? Again, we need to figure this out. But so far, the only data I could get is how many people got wrecked, right? So I couldn't really get the data to say how many people have bought in XYZ, right? And so let's see what happens. Again, people are positive. Sentiment comes in, even if it's $10 on-chain. That is very good. Now, another thing I want to mention about this on-chain business, right? So here's another fun fact, right? So smart money understands that a giant like BlackRock, a giant like Fidelity has, I think, approximately 4-point-something trillion under management, right? Again, it's probably another arm of BlackRock. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, right? And a few other bits and bobs have entered the market, right? So there's this institutional positive news out there. So all of this news is positive for the institution. Again, Fidelity have also said the same thing as BlackRock. They said, we are not going to manage the funds. We're going to give the fund management to someone like Coinbase custody or whatnot, right? So again, what they're saying is, you know, an on-chain exchange can actually deal with all the buying, selling, and lending, whatever needs to be done, while we only handle the transactional part. So they're just going to be there providing the service while somebody else does all the dirty work, right? Again, big money for Coinbase, happy days. I'm not complaining, right? So none of this, I'm not complaining about any of this, right? So what I'm saying is because these Goliaths, these giants, right? One with 9 point something trillion, the other one 4 point something trillion dollars. So when you see like almost 13, 14 trillion dollar asset management companies enter the space, institutional investors are becoming bullish, right? And they're becoming bullish for one reason, because they are forecasting what could possibly happen. So they're kind of predicting, they're saying, okay, these two giants come in, they're going to pump the market because they're in it for the money. They're not going to lose money, so they're going to be making a lot of money. So let's buy right now. So again, they're trying to buy up as much as possible because they assume that the market will be bullish, right? They assume that the Bitcoin ETF, the spot ETF that these two giants have applied for, will go through. In fact, BlackRock has recently said to SEC, right? And again, I can't confirm this, but this is a rumor. I've got it from Twitter. That can you speed up the process? So that the BlackRock has gone to SEC and said, can you speed it up, please? Right? You're wasting our time. We're about to miss the boat. We need to enter the market and we need to make a shit ton of money. Right? Literally, right? In layman's terms, that's exactly what they said. So look, the chances of them getting the ETF is very, very, very high. Right? Very high. Gary Gensler doesn't want to piss off BlackRock, put it this way, right? Maybe all other small strips out there, all other small companies, they don't give a shit, right? But when it comes to BlackRock, Gary Gensler doesn't want to piss them off. If Gary Gensler wants to retire with a good pension, he doesn't want to piss off BlackRock, full stop, right? So that's how I'm thinking, at least, right? That's my opinion. So, you know, nobody else matters. BlackRock matters, right? So that's what's happening, and people are seeing this, hence why I think you know, a lot of institutions are going to come on board. Again, a lot of institutions do not have to publicly announce anything right now, right? They can announce it at a later date. Also, institutional founders, owners, private entities, they do not have to announce anything if they do buy right now. So if Elon Musk goes and makes a private purchase of, you know, $5 billion, nobody needs to know about it. He doesn't have to publicly announce that quite yet, if that makes sense, right? He's doing it as a private entity. He doesn't have to mention it. If Mark Zuckerberg goes and buys something, he doesn't have to announce this right now. He can do it whenever. He doesn't even have to publicly announce it, because this is his private matter. But if his company, if his business enters the space, of course, it will be publicly announced because they are publicly listed companies. So this is the benefit, you know, of publicly listed companies, is that we have to get the news, right? Whatever they do with their funding, their money, whatever investments they're making, they will have to publicly announce these things. But again, as a private person, as a private entity, whether you're a business founder or whatever, that information can stay private. So I've got a feeling a lot of the inside players, a lot of the individual players who have the funds, who have money, who have millions of dollars to deploy right now, are buying whatever they can privately, right? So they're buying privately because obviously if it's going to pump, everyone's going to make money. So that's what they're doing privately. Now, as for the corporations and the institutions, I think they're going to come a little bit later. You know, it's all bureaucracy and paperwork, right? So once the paperwork goes through, I think they're going to do that. And if not, now this is an if, right? I don't know how it works, but I'm not sure. But maybe BlackRock has done a pre-sale. You know, you never know, right? They may be already selling some form of a promise to institution. Again, those institutions are probably already buying up based on that promise, because they can do that. You can, in a legal framework, you can do that. So I think they're doing that. And if that's the case, and if they've received the funds, then clearly they're probably buying. We don't know again, right? So none of this information is confirmable. Well, probably if we do peek into what Coinbase Custody is doing, again, it's really hard to track it down exactly what's happened, but I'm sure someone's going to figure it out. So that's what's happening right now, I believe, at least, right? That's my personal opinion. I think that this is all to do with Fidelity. This is all to do with BlackRock entering the space. I don't think it's much to do with the FOMC meeting and whatnot. Federal Reserve news, yes, it's great for the country, but really they're not really changing anything. They haven't really done anything. Inflation's high, US dollars dropping, you know, it's not really doing much, right? Again, if you look at today's rate, I think it's about 77 pence to a dollar. So that's great for pounds. Like, you know, our pound's a lot more stronger, but things could change, right? I wouldn't really bet on anything right now because, again, the pound's not doing really well because we also have inflation, right? So yeah, I mean, look, people are very sentimental. Human emotions is something that not everyone knows how to control. So your self-emotion is very hard. Most people, they don't look too far ahead. They don't want to understand, or they don't want to see the bigger picture. Too many people are in it for the short term. So a lot of these trades, or a lot of these things that have happened today where the pumps happen, are probably short term. You know, as I said, we need confirmation. Without confirmation, we don't go anywhere, right? Because once we peak above the 31K, the next level for us is 37K. So that's a 6K increase, and that 6K could happen within a week, right? Within a week, we could have a grand up a day or whatever, right? 6K, let's just say 6K average, you know, we say 6 days, we could have this. So we're not that far. And here's a good fact as well. If we go to the $37,000, if we go to the $37,000 and confirm a candle above that, then we're back in the real bull market territory, because we're going to be above the 50% valuation of the 69K, 70K, let's call it 70K. So as long as we're above the 50% mark, that means we're in the bull territory, right? You know, it's more like if you look at a head and shoulder pattern, or if you look at a W pattern, we're now above the middle point, right? Because when we were below the middle point, that was bearish for us, so we knew we were going to go down, we're going to keep on going down. If we now enter the above 50% of the previous bull market high, then things are now positive, right? So this means there's going to be a market move. Now, how far the move is going to go, I don't know. Now, one thing I have to say is, I know a lot of people may be thinking, oh, we're going to have a halvening, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. Yes, well, all of this is true, right? We are going to have a halvening, but are we going to hit, 150K or whatever people are thinking? You know, there are people out there shouting 160K, 170K. Guys, we're going to get there. All these numbers are correct, right? You know, all these numbers are correct. If someone turns around and says we're going to go to $500,000, yes, we are, but is it today? Is it tomorrow? We don't know, right? So we got to be kind of cautious about how bullish we get, or how much we start assuming things. So we shouldn't get into the cryptosphere. This is what I'm trying to say here. So you should not enter a cryptosphere thinking that, you know, you're going to make it, right? Your $30,000 investment is going to turn into $500,000 or $160,000 tomorrow. That's the wrong way of thinking about this. You should not enter if you think like this, because your emotions are going to be entangled in this, right? The way to think about it is, okay, if I enter with 30K today, am I going to make, 3K more, right? Am I going to make 10%? Because in crypto, you have the opportunity in crypto to make 10%, right? So that's how you should be thinking, is, am I going to make 10%? Am I going to make, 20% or XYZ, right? Those are the kind of thoughts that you should be having, not thoughts that, I'm going to make 150K today or 150K tomorrow, or maybe I'm going to hold on to the end of the year and I'm going to make 150K. Bad thought. No, don't have these thoughts, right? Always have risk management, and you need to understand, you need to have a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, you can't do it. So whatever investments you make right now, if you are not already in it, which is sad because you should already be in it. But again, this is not a financial advice. You do whatever you like. So if you are already in it, then you're fine to hold, do whatever you need to do. If you haven't entered the market and you're planning to enter right now, then don't enter with the wrong mindset. That's all I'm saying, nothing else, right? Just a friendly advice. Because as we go towards the halving, the hype, right, and this is what I want to get to, the hype is going to get a lot more more frequent, let's just say, right, whatever we want to say, right, it's going to be exponential, right, exponential. So the hype is going to constantly increase, and the more closer we are to the time, it's going to be all over, all social media, everything. Oh yes, we're having a Bitcoin halving, we're going to $1 million, XYZ. The moment the hype hits the peak, expect a massive dump. So what you should be doing right now is, if you are considering entering BTC right now, your calculation, or whatever you want to call it, should factor in that there could be a dump. So you need to prepare when you enter that there may be a dump. So if we have a pump right now, maybe taking us to 40k, 50k, right? Can we potentially go to the 70k, or maybe we get a dump from 50k? And if we do get a dump from 50k, maybe we might come back down to 30k. Are you prepared for that emotional roller coaster? Because if you are, then you're great, right? If you're not, then maybe, you should go back and consider doing something else, right? So, and I'm not being an enemy to you. I know a lot of people might turn around and say, what the hell is this guy saying, right? Doesn't he want us to enter crypto and this and that? No, enter crypto by all means, but you got to enter in the right frame of mind, right? Your right frame of mind shouldn't be with expectation, which should be with less expectation, which should be that, okay, here's my initial investment, I'm putting in for 4 or 5 years, see what happens there. So I always say, it doesn't matter what day of the year, month, whatever, whenever you enter, never ever invest into crypto if you don't have the capacity to at least be in it for 5 years. The best strategy is minimum 5 years, right? If you can enter with the thought that, okay, this is my 5 year savings, then you'll do all right. Again, another thing that you need to also understand as well, there are going to be coins that might do 100x, that might do 1000x, right? There are coins that will possibly do that. But if you haven't already bought it, you don't know. So don't jump into these coins when they've already done it. So if something's gone up 400%, don't enter that, right? If you are not holding any altcoins right now, my suggestion is don't do it, because altcoins are the most dangerous unless you can exit quick enough, right? So if you've made your percentage, your 100%, whatever you want to make, if you've made it, then you get out quickly as possible. So that way you have less risk, because they are the highest risk. Altcoins, today I was looking at a coin. I won't mention which one because it's a stupid coin that I bought. So I bought a whole bunch of this particular coin recently, and I thought, okay, I'm going to make a shit ton of money when the market starts pumping, right? So the idea was, when the market goes into a bull run, I should be making a shit ton of money. And it was okay, to be honest. Last few months, if not longer, maybe I would say about 6 months, it's been pretty much holding it was pretty much holding steady, right? To be honest, it was actually holding steady. It didn't really shift much. I mean, the worst scenario I saw was a 10% drop. Acceptable, right? And then recently it probably had more dumps. Again, I didn't follow, but for me, I'm one of those, when I invest into something, I'm like all in as in, say if I put $1,000 in, then I'm willing to lose that $1,000, right? So I've kind of that's how I trade. So I'm like all in, right, in that sense. So I don't invest too much, but if I invest, then I'm willing to lose that. So in this particular trade, I put like $3,000, and today I saw about $38 remaining in there, because I got like the valuation just gone. Again, that's probably because a lot of the team, the founders, had a lot of coins, and it was risky when I did enter, but I entered with about 3k, and what I found out was they've been dumping. So every time the market kind of went up a little bit, they'd be dumping. And the reason I didn't notice the drops was because while they were dumping, other people were buying up, assuming it's just a dip in this and that. And they still hold a significant amount. So recently when it pumped a little bit, apparently they just dumped a whole bunch, which brought the market down to a very small number. So that I'm assuming is a loss, because I've lost 99.9%. So that's gone. I'm not bothered about that one anymore. Again, I haven't done anything. I've lost it. So what am I supposed to do? So I've left it there. Like similar like my Luna, which became Luna C. All right. It's just sitting there. There's nothing I could do about it. So forget it. So similar kind of a thing, strategies. Like for me, I've invested certain funds into certain things that I'm not that fussed about if I lose it. However, when it comes to BTC, Ethereum, those are a different story. Okay. Because I think the peak for them hasn't arrived yet. You know, I'm going to give myself every time I enter. So even if I enter for $100, $1,000, $10,000, whatever the case is, I'm always looking forward at least 5 years. I'm saying, okay, I've entered today with $1,000. Whatever the value is, I don't really care. Whether it goes up or down, again, I don't really care. But my exit would be about 5 years, because those are the gold coins, right? Those are the gold of crypto and the silver of crypto, in my opinion. So I'm not too fussed about those. As I said recently on another video as well, I am kind of bullish on Matic solely because of Polygon V2. But again, I don't know what's going to happen. The founder's going to dump on us, or what's going to happen, I don't know. Are the whales going to dump on us? I don't know. But we'll soon find out. But I am kind of bullish on that. Again, I'll probably put something in that I can afford to lose. If I can't, then I won't bother with this. So that's the whole idea of strategy. Because this season, this crypto winter, let's call it winter. So this particular winter wasn't bad for me, right? Here's the fun part, right? So 2019 to 2021, when we had the peak, right? I did very well, to be honest. I did fantastic. And then what happened, let me just take this off. So I did very well. And then what happened was, so I planned to reinvest my funds into a whole bunch of stuff. My investments didn't do well. So, you know, I would say I've lost a lot of money through investments, through wrong investments, or whatever you want to call it. I've lost a lot of money, right? A lot of the people in the communities know exactly what it is. I don't want to really put it on the public video, but people in the community know exactly what it was. And so I've lost a lot of money through these investment opportunities, or investment ventures, that I would call it. Yeah, ventures. So I did some ventures and I've lost a lot of money. So that has actually made me lose a significant amount of my capital that I would normally play with. So normally I've got money to play with, like I'm in and out doing whatever, and it's comfortable. But this season, because of those big investments that I've made, I've ended up losing a lot of money. And after losing a lot of money, so for me, I've been kind of quiet. I'm not saying much. Again, it doesn't matter. What's happened is happened. There's nothing I could do, right? Honestly, there's absolutely nothing you can do. You know, you lose money, what are you going to do about it, right? I got robbed. Fine. What are you going to do about it? If someone's taking your money, what are you going to do? You know, a lot of people might say, oh, I'm going to go and do this, that. No, that's inhumane. If someone's done that, they'll suffer their consequences at some stage, somewhere, end of the day, but I'm not going chasing them. I've got bigger fish to fry. I've got better things to look forward to. This is one of the reasons why I'm being positive. And I'm like, look, what's happened has happened. Bygones are bygones. I don't want to look at those things. But what I do want to do is move forward. Right, move forward, launch my products and this and that, and move forward with that, so the community can actually start benefiting from this. So, yeah, I mean that's the whole idea. So for me, because I've lost such a significant amount of money, it's been a lot tougher this season for me to enter, re-enter, play the game. So for me, what I've done is whatever I already hold, I'm holding. Those I'm holding, hodling strong, diamond hands here. Whatever I sold, I couldn't rebuy. So there was hundreds of coins that I actually sold. I couldn't rebuy, reinvest, right? If that makes sense. So now I'm only cherry picking, literally cherry picking a few of these coins that I can afford to put money in, that I can afford to lose. So the idea is Here I had a pool of funds that I could do whatever I want. I don't really care. If I lose a little bit of money, who cares, right? But because funding is tight right now, I'm only investing into a handful of coins, if that makes sense, right? And I'm happy to tell you what coins they are. So right now, Matic, I'm planning to buy some Matic. I already hold some, but I want to buy some more. Avalanche, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at Phantom. I'm looking at Cardano. And believe me, I don't care about SEC. I'm looking at Cardano. I'm looking at Polkadot. What's the other one? There's another one I'm looking at. Why has it gone out of my head for? It's completely blank right now. My head is completely blank right now. BNB is one of those as well. So I am looking at BNB as well. That coin has gone out of my head. Anyway, I'll figure out Atom. Sorry, Atom. Yeah, there you go, Atom. So these are coins that I want to buy, right? You know, I might put $500, might put $1,000, whatever, right? The idea is I want to only put money that I can afford to lose. I'm not looking at a 10x, a 100x, a 1000x, none of that business. This is just funds that I can afford to put in the market to play this next cycle. That's all it is. But I'm also assuming that I could easily lose all of them. So that's why I'm only putting a very minimal investment. Now, the other two, Ethereum and BTC, those ones I'm dollar cost averaging. And it doesn't matter when, I'll dollar cost average. If I got $100 today, I'll do $100 today. If I got $1,000, I'll do $1,000. But I'm doing it for a longer term. So I'm not doing it for now. So this is the BTC and Ethereum. I'm only doing with surplus cash that I have remaining, the money I have remaining. I'm using that to top up on that, if that makes sense. And even then, I'm doing what I can, not every day and not every week or something like this, whatever I can. But the others are targeted specific amounts going into them. So that way I could keep an account for how many's gone in and how many's gone out. And see where we go from there, right? But they are higher risk. That's what I'm saying to you. I was hoping Ethereum would come down. Honestly, I was really hoping Ethereum would come down. Then I could pick up some more Ethereum. But if it doesn't matter. The signs, I mean, as I said, stochastic RSI, yes, it's showing positive, but nothing is confirmed. So again, if it's not confirmed, then I'm not getting into the game. So I'm just going to wait on the sidelines a little bit longer and see what happens. In the meantime, I'm going to be launching a few NFTs. So if you're interested, we'll do with this. But I think there's an opportunity. I mean, the massive opportunity. There's a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, I mean, if the community come together, I think there's a lot of stuff, a lot of people can do. I'm not going to promise any financial gains. I can't legally. I'm not a financial advisor. But I think there's a lot of opportunities that a lot of people are missing out. You know, for me, right now, I'm heavily invested into my own project, number one, and into BTC and Ethereum, right? Heavily. I don't want to get out. That's the thing. A lot of people have come to me like, you know, if you need funding, why don't you get into it? I'm like, no, I'm comfortable as I am. But I don't want to dip into these, because if I do, then things start. Like, think about it like a house of cards, right? You enter, you got this house of cards. You take a card out from the middle somewhere, and you've got a problem. It becomes loose. So that's the kind of a situation. And then the other thing is look, I want to launch paradexes. I want to launch a token. I want to launch an NFT or a few NFTs. If I give this away to everybody for free, what value does the project have? Do you know what I mean? What value does the project have? I've invested my money, my time, my funding, whatever you want to call it, right, into this. For what? If you do not participate in it, if you do not buy it, if you do not hold it, if you do not sell it, if you do not claim it, whatever the case is, right? Again, this is not financial advice, and I'm not selling you anything. But if you don't interact with it, what value does it have? What's my benefit? You know? Because I've mentioned this on another video as well. Right, and I know I'm kind of drifting away from subject, so we are going to talk about paradexes a little bit. I've mentioned in another video as well, I said, look, I want to create 21 million coins. I don't want to sell any coins. I want to give them away. But they're conditional giveaways. Means that you have to buy an NFT in order for you to claim from a particular pool. So say, for example, collection number 1 goes out, consists of 10,000 NFTs or 1,000 NFT, it doesn't matter, 500 NFT. If you buy the NFT, then you're able to claim the coin. So only that NFT owner can claim that. And again, only the first minter or the first claimer. So it's there. As long as you have it, you prove that you have it, go and claim it. But if you don't have the NFT, you can't claim it. You know? So that's the kind of situation. So I'm giving everybody an opportunity to basically become community venture capital investors, but in a funny way. I mean, do we even call it that? No, let's call it community liquidity generators and liquidity providers. Right. I think that makes more sense. So community can claim the token. Token is totally for free. The community can then go and provide liquidity off their own bat. So they are the owners. So this is total decentralization. You know? Anyway, I'm going to make another whole video on this one, right? Because I can go on forever. But other than that, guys, I hope the video was informative. Like, share, subscribe. I've got to go. I just noticed the time. I have to go somewhere. So I hope this was informative. And I'll catch you on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.